If you travel internationally, the absolute most vital thing in your suitcase isn't actually your passport. It's that clunky plastic universal power adapter.
Right, the one that saves your life when your phone is at 1%.
Exactly, because you've got all these completely different electrical grids across the globe, but that one little block lets you plug in and just work. And that brings us to today's deep dive. We are pulling from a stack of recent tech white papers, SEC filings, and AI research papers to decode three letters, which are XLM.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating overlap because in 2026, this one acronym dominates two completely different technological revolutions.
Right. It acts like that universal adapter, but one plug fixes the global financial system and the other fixes the human language barrier. So I guess we should look at how it plugs into your wallet first.
Yeah, let's start with Stellar Lumens, the crypto XLM.
It has completely grown up. I mean, it evolved from a basic retail remittance token into this hardcore institutional settlement layer.
Which is a huge shift. Oh, absolutely. And a huge part of that is their Soraban smart contracts, specifically this 60-day time to live or TTL storage rule.
Wait, so is this essentially a digital lease? Like, if an institution doesn't run automated jobs to pay the rent, so to speak, every 60 days, their data just gets archived to keep the network fast.
That's exactly it. It literally prevents network state bloat.
Yeah.
And this forced efficiency is why traditional banks actually care now, because they require massive processing speed.
Right, they can't have a slow network.
Exactly. But to really get those institutions on board, Stellar just rolled out the Protocol 25 X-ray upgrade. This brings native zero-knowledge cryptography to the chain.
Okay, I've seen zero-knowledge cryptography mentioned in the white papers, and they specifically call out the BN254 curve. But without getting bogged down in the math, how does that actually work for a bank?
Well, it uses a standard cryptographic formula, so developers can build apps that prove a transaction is valid without ever revealing the actual dollar amounts or account details to the public.
Oh, wow. So you get the verifiable transparency of a public ledger.
Right.
But you keep the strict privacy that a major financial institution would obviously require.
Spot on. Which leads right into the massive regulatory shift we saw. In March 2026, the SEC and CFTC issued a joint interpretation officially classifying XLM as a digital commodity.
Which means it's explicitly free from those strict securities regulations now.
Right, and that paves the way for the Clarity Act. The agencies basically recognize that because XLM functions as a decentralized utility, like a mechanism to pay for network compute and transfer value, it operates more like digital oil than a company stock.
So why does this matter to you, the listener? Well, because that technical efficiency combined with total regulatory clarity means major banks can now safely adopt XLM for tokenizing real-world assets.
Yeah, it fundamentally tears down the slow, fragmented silos of traditional correspondent banking.
Yeah.
Where your money used to just sit in holding patterns for days, waiting for different international ledgers to sync up.
But while Stellar tears down the silos of correspondent banking, the other XLM is tearing down the silos of human knowledge.
Right. On the AI side of the tech world, those exact same three letters refer to cross-lingual language models.
Which is a totally different ballgame.
Very different. For years, translation AI used English as a pivot. So if you wanted to translate French to Japanese, the AI translated French to English first, and then English to Japanese.
Which seems so inefficient, and it must have erased all the cultural nuance in the process.
It did, but XLM abandons that entirely. Instead, it maps multiple languages into a shared mathematical vector space.
So like a French idiom and its Japanese equivalent mathematically cluster together in the AI's architecture.
Exactly. It's like plotting points on a giant multidimensional map, even if they share zero actual vocabulary. But they did hit a massive roadblock, which is known as the curse of multilinguality.
The curse of multilinguality.
Yeah. Forcing a model to learn 400 languages actually degrades its reasoning capacity due to parameter dilution.
Wait, hold on. I have to push back on this. Are you saying that feeding a massive AI more languages actually makes it mathematically dumber at complex tasks?
Yeah, it does. Because the AI only has a fixed parameter budget.
Oh, I see.
If it spends all its computational power trying to memorize the specific vocabulary and grammar rules of 400 separate languages, it physically has less capacity left for complex logical reasoning.
So if the AI has this strict parameter budget, how do engineers solve this without just building a massively expensive, power-hungry supercomputer?
Well, the 2026 breakthrough is called layer localized control. Researchers realize they only need to fine-tune the final 3 to 5% of a model's layers for language generation.
Wow, just 3 to 5%.
Yeah, just a tiny fraction. The deep middle layers handle the actual abstract reasoning, and only the very end translates it into a specific language.
Which saves massive computational power.
Exactly, while preserving deep, authentic cultural nuances for low-resource languages that historically just got left out of the AI boom.
It is incredible. I mean, whether we are talking about routing fragmented capital or routing fragmented knowledge, XLM represents this invisible infrastructure.
It really does.
It's guaranteeing that neither your geography nor your native language will limit your access to the global economy.
It truly is the universal adapter for human exchange.
Which leaves you with a final thought to mull over. If these twin XLM technologies successfully erase all linguistic and financial friction across the globe, how long until our traditional concept of a localized nation-state economy becomes completely obsolete? Think about that next time you plug in your universal adapter.